If you're thinking about studying psychology at York University, here's what you really need to know.
We're joined by Claire and Laila, students from York's psychology program who've seen it all from the inside. Claire's a fourth-year student, lab manager, and co-president of the Psychology Student Association. Laila's a third-year student heading up marketing for the society.
They've been at the heart of York's Psych community, planning events, running workshops, and helping students feel connected in one of the largest programs on campus.
In this episode, they share what it's actually like to study psychology at York. Everything from the academic grind to navigating mental health, building a support system, and making the most of the opportunities York has to offer.
Whether you're applying to York, already here, or just curious about psych life on campus, Claire and Laila are giving you an honest, unfiltered guide to what it's really like.
Welcome to the Enriched Mindset Podcast. We like to start our podcasts off with a joke. Why do cognitive behavioral therapists make terrible comedians?
Why?
They're always reframing the joke.
That's a good one. Okay. And then, what's a therapist's favorite mode of transportation?
Oh my God, tell me.
A train of thought.
Okay.
Oh, that's a great one. Okay.
All right, so I'm Nikki, a third-year student at the University of Toronto Scarborough, and I'm doing a specialist in psychology. I'm working here at JWL Psychology as a psychologist assistant as part of my co-op work term experience.
And I'm Lauren. I'm a third-year psychology student from the University of Guelph, and I'm currently a psychology intern at JWL Psychology. And as you both know, I'm also the co-president of the Psychology Society at Guelph. And we're so glad to have you both on the Enriched Mindset Podcast. Could you both take a moment to introduce yourself to our listeners?
Sure. My name is Claire. I am a fourth-year psychology student at York University. I'm also a co-president of the Undergraduate Psychology Student Association, or UPSA for short, and I am also a lab manager at the MAR Lab at York University.
My name's Laila. I'm a third-year undergraduate psychology student at York University, and I'm also a marketing coordinator for the Undergraduate Psychology Student Association, or UPSA.
So what are your guys' key responsibilities as president and marketing coordinator?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think for president, it would be just overseeing the executive team and making sure that operations are running smoothly. So I also helped oversee initiatives such as the podcast that we had, merchandise sales, and also our alumni spotlight on our website. So we initiated those, and marketing helps a lot with a lot of those initiatives. And I also help with collaboration events. So I am mostly in contact with the external organizations who want to collaborate with us, or just on events or anything else. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Claire. I help a lot with the podcast, similar to what you guys have been doing, kind of the same setup. I'm super new to it, but I was a script writer. I was also a co-host. My job as a marketing coordinator is to make sure all our services are accessible to all students. It's kind of like what you guys do. You see what's in and what's out, and you see how often students engage. I would say stuff with that, and I also help manage our marketing ambassadors, hopefully so new opportunities can come and maybe they can be me one day. Yeah, so I manage that, but overall I oversee what's posted and what's in, what's out, and I help lead the ambassadors.
That's great. So what is the mission and goals of the UPSA?
Yeah, so for our mission, I believe it's just to create a community within psychology students. I know our vision is to create a vibrant community because York is a commuter school, from what I've heard at least, and it can be very isolating. I felt that myself too. So people usually go to class and then they leave.
Yeah.
So I think one of our goals at UPSA is to create and foster that community within our club, but also with the members of the psychology community.
Yeah, I totally agree. I agree with the loneliness as well. In my first year, I felt a lot of that, and I think that's a big reason why I joined UPSA, just to create that kind of a community, and also just so everyone can engage in our resources. I feel like there's so much York has to offer, and UPSA, I think it's firsthand. We know it. It's it's a perk of being in UPSA. You get to know it firsthand, but you also get to spread it out to the students firsthand as well.
Yeah, awesome. In terms of fostering that sense of community, what kind of events do you guys plan? And do you guys have a favorite?
Ooh, I would probably say Meet the Profs. Yeah, we pick a selective group of psychology profs at York, and then we can engage in a group discussion. It's nice to see them face to face. I feel like in a 600 lecture hall, and I'm like, wow, I've actually never really seen you up close before, and engage.
Yeah.
And it's so interactive because it just shows how much we care about the course. I'm like, oh, I'm in your class, and all this small talk. I'd probably say that because it almost feels like I'm meeting a celebrity in some way. I'm like, oh my God, you're taller than I thought you'd be. Yeah. But probably that. But I'd prefer a lot of academic events. How do you feel, Claire?
Yeah, no, for UPSA, I think we do have a mix of both academic and social events.
Okay.
Like Meet the Profs was an academic one. We also have a bunch of online events talking about like the degree and where you could go after psychology. And we also have social events like Get Psyched or Winter Wonderland. I do agree with Laila. I like Meet the Profs a lot.
Yeah.
When I joined UPSA, I was a peer mentor and it was during COVID. So we still had that hybrid model. So I had to join Meet the Profs like online, and so I wasn't really in it. I didn't really understand, and ever since until this February, I have not been able to join a Meet the Profs. So this time I was like, this is my last year. I'm gonna have to tell them I can't come into work because I need to go to this event. So I went, and it was so great. Like I saw a professor that taught me too.
Yeah.
And all the students were really engaged, and they were asking things about, oh, what do you do? What do you think about this? And I think the professors looked really excited to talk about that, because I think this particular one, it's not like a lot of students are asking, how do you get into labs? What do you do when you're stressed out at school? Is actually talking about the things that they're passionate about.
Yeah.
So I would say Meet the Profs is also really my favorite. Yeah.
I really like those kind of events too, because I feel like it's so hard nowadays to make a connection with the prof.
Yes.
So I think,
It's very competitive.
it is.
yeah.
It's very competitive. And that way you get a chance to go up to them and connect one-on-one.
Yeah, this feels more genuine.
Yeah, for sure.
I really have a hard time like talking to profs, especially at U of T. As soon as you get up after the lecture is done, people are swarming the prof. So I'm like an event like that just is so important to actually build important connections.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why did you guys both decide to get involved with the society, and for you, Claire, eventually take on a leadership position? And also I was wondering if you could talk me through the steps you took to get to be co-president.
Yeah, for sure. So I decided to join because honestly, it's so weird. When I first came to university, I didn't really have any interest in extracurricular activities. I'm here to go to my courses and that's it. But I joined because in my second year, I was with a class and they had a peer mentor and they were talking like, you should do this stuff because this will really help you learn more about what you want to do and also give you something good to put on your CV and stuff like that. So I did it, went as a peer mentor, and I was not planning to come back after that year. I was thinking that, okay, this is it. I think I didn't really feel anything. I was just a volunteer. I was still alone. I didn't feel any community. I was doing my tasks and then I just like left. And I think that is such a contrast to who I am now.
Yeah. Big time.
So the next step I had was as a peer mentor coordinator. And the reason I took that was because I was applying for a work study, but I didn't hear back. And I talked to my then coordinator who became an EVP. And she was saying, you should apply for the coordinator position at UPSA. And I was like, okay, you know what? Sure. So I went for it. And that's an exec position. And that's when I really got into it. I really liked being a coordinator, loved interacting with the peer mentors. Like it was my greatest joy. And it just being able to help them so that they could help students. And then just leading a team, leading their projects, even though sometimes it's stressful, it brought me like so much happiness that eventually I was shoulder tapped for the co-president position and I went for it. And again, like the same thing. I love it so much. I love that even though the team's bigger and everything, I still love being able to support my team and I want to be there for them like in any way that I can.
Yeah.
And that's how I got here. I just grew. I don't know how. I don't know what changed, but something happened. Something in the air. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You just gave your whole upset timeline.
Yes. That was my whole upset timeline.
It started off super casually for me. I don't think when I never expected me to be here, it's going to go on 3 years. It was just because I'm in psychology. There's a psychology club. Why not join? I also wanted to challenge myself. Just like Claire, I was never the type to join extracurriculars. I'm strict on academics. And sometimes you really don't know how you can manage your time. But I did want to challenge myself. And I'm into marketing. I thought that was really cool. I think what you guys do is really cool. So I joined that. And through running the Instagram account, it was super humbling because with a lot of our events and services, students will reach out and be like, oh, when's the next event? And they'll be like, do you have any pictures teachers, it's almost like it's a party. And I'm like, yeah, I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you soon. Or with our tutoring services, or we have our mock exams, which is a really good way for students to study and just prepare for exams. But I think that part is what made it so rewarding to see how much students needed it. Because at first, like I said, it was super casual. Then I'm like, whoa, this is like a really big thing at York. And it was so happy that I can be a part of that. And we keep using the word foster, but we can foster it as well. So yeah, that's why I'm going to continue to stay here. And I'm really grateful to be here.
Yeah.
I guess that brings us to our next question, where I was going to ask if you guys could both share a moment or achievement you're particularly proud of, but it seems like during the process you found it very rewarding. Yeah.
I would probably just say going back to students, because I really didn't know how big this club was until I joined. I did get elected as executive vice president for next year, so that's a really big accomplishment.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. I like to say, like, we all share the same kind of role in the sense we help York students. I just tell people our responsibilities are a little bit different, but it's the exact same impact. And I'm ready for the change. Like, Claire did an amazing job, so if anything, I'll just try to follow her and the rest of my co-presidents. No, seriously, it's all about leadership. They set a good example for me, so I feel like the transition will be somewhat seamless, but I still have a lot to learn. So I'm really grateful for that. So that's really something I'm proud of.
I think I'm quite proud of is maybe the merchandise sales that we had this year. So usually with merchandise sales, I expected it to be a little slow, and it was. And so I decided that I had to give some sort of incentive. I decided to make this thing where everyone who bought something, like the first 20 people who bought like our merch, like we had a tote bag and we had a crew neck, and whoever bought these things, they would get like a mini goodie bag. And so I basically like handcrafted like these little keychains for everyone who bought a crew neck. And it was really fun. I like doing those things. I like making handcrafted stuff for my team, or like even with the peer mentors, I made them like little keychains and everything. But I also took the time to make that for our customers too. And I was so happy when they got back to me and they were like, this is so cute. I can't believe, like, why do we have goodie bags? And they were like, I love it. It's such a good touch. And I was like, if I bought something, I would be more than happy to get a freebie. So I was like, this is the perfect. I hope they like it.
A hoodie and a goodie bag.
Exactly. A hoodie and a goodie bag. So yeah, I think that's one of the parts that I feel accomplished with. And I don't know if I have time to talk about one more because I just thought of it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So a few weeks ago, I received the news that I am a recipient of the Robert J. Tiffin Student Leadership Award, which I was...
Wow.
Thank you. Sorry, I don't mean to sound like a show-off.
No, we want you to talk about it.
No, thank you. But I was like... That blew my mind. I was just meeting my professor. It was so funny. I just met Dr. Mar, who is the professor at my lab, and I was talking to him about I don't know what to do, and I had been feeling so lost like those past few weeks because I was just like, everyone's going to graduate school. I don't know what I'm doing, and I was really scared, and I had a lot of nerves, and I was feeling a lot of imposter syndrome and feeling a little bit like a failure. And so when I received that news, and I didn't even see it like first, it was Treasure actually, who's our VP of marketing. She was one of my what do you call that? Nominators? Yeah, she was one of my nominators. And she said,
that's so nice.
Yeah, and she's congratulations. I'm like, I saw her text first. I'm like, why would you say congratulations? And then I saw the email, and I was like, crazy. It was crazy for me. I didn't know whether to laugh or to cry. I just felt maybe someone does to see all my work, which is like pretty validating.
Yeah, that must feel so rewarding. And congratulations,
by the way.
Thank you so much. That's so amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't know about you guys, but at least for me, sometimes it can be really hard to balance like academics and then other commitments with my role, especially like around this time of the year when we're planning all these big events. How do you guys balance your like work-life balance, I guess I would say?
I can start first. Claire had brought it up, but we treat this like a part-time job. But at first I was like, hey, I don't know how I feel about that. But then I was like, I actually treat this like an assignment, just like an extra course. I feel like that's how I just integrate into my schedule so easily. I don't necessarily treat it as a club. When I know I have something to do, if I have downtime, it's more so my ups of time. And a lot of the work we do at school, that's why we're so grateful to have our own office spaces. And I prioritize my ups of work for that space specifically. So yeah, I think just treating it with importance, the same that you would do at school or your job, any other stuff like that. But that's how I would manage my time, I would say.
Yeah. No, that's so spot on. I'm like, you have to treat this like a job. If you just treat it like, oh, it's just another thing, you're not going to be very involved. And especially as an exec, I think Laila could speak to this too, but you are in charge of a bunch of volunteers. And you really are responsible for them. And if you're not doing your job, they're not going to do their job.
Exactly.
So I think that's one part of it. Another thing is actually in the fall, I had this situation where I was approaching burnout. And I was denying it so hard. I was like, burnout is a myth. I'm someone who pushes myself again and again.
Yeah.
And even if I'm tired, I'm just going to keep going because I know that the end result will make it all worth it. So that's what happened. But I did also realize among that time that it is important to just take one day off from everything, like whether that's your studies or even like your extracurriculars, because that one day reset could help you a lot. It goes a long way. And then and I know like sometimes as much as I'm like in the grind mindset, I'm also in the mindset where it's like if I'm just going on this road, but I'm not being like giving my 100%, even though I think I'm giving my 100%, then again, it will fall back on the rest of my team. It'll fall back on the volunteers. And I don't want that.
Yeah, for sure. I have a quick follow-up question. Sorry. How do you deal with burnout? Steps did you take or what worked for you to get back to where you should be?
No, that's a good question. So I would say like maybe like that break, like I would take it like during the weekend when no one else is working. But I think also just organizing things really well. I try to do that as best as I can right now. But sometimes I also understand that I really want to do UPSA stuff, but I also need to work on this essay that I've been avoiding and I'm like procrastinating on. Basically, I think organizing that, but then also just taking that time to be like, okay, that's it. After maybe if there was an UPSA event, for example, that's causing all this stress, I would just be like, okay, after this event, we're just going to take a little break. And also I think setting boundaries, because I think as a co-president, you're working with a lot of external partners. I think you could speak to that too. And a lot of them are demanding a lot from you. They're saying like, oh, we want to do this event and this would be so great for the club because we create this connection and this could go like for years and everything. But at the same time, I'm also drowning in a lot of things. Yeah. And it's really important for me too to also say, I'm sorry, we can't support that right now. And I hope this doesn't hinder the possibility of us working again next time or in the future, stuff like that.
For sure.
Yeah, that's really good. Even for me to know in the future. We also have days off now. It's been pretty recent since we implemented it. 2 days in the week. Yeah, at least
that's
2
amazing.
days. Yeah, I know. So that helps with the burnout. I'm so happy. It feels like we should have thought of it sooner. It seems like such a common solution. Why don't we just have days off? Yeah, but that, honestly, Claire's answer spoke for itself. I would say for me, attesting to what Claire said, if I'm not good mentally, I can't produce good within the club. Taking breaks and putting me first, and it doesn't even sound selfish. You don't have to feel, and even as a president, please, like none of you feel selfish. Mental health comes first. If I'm good and my schedule's good, then I can be good for within the club. But I would say the days off have helped tremendously because then I don't have to feel pressured. Oh, I have to respond. But they know my days off and our ambassadors, we have to notify them. So now I always have to feel pressure like, oh, I have to respond. I can take a break. And I think it's so happy we normalized it within the club.
Yeah. No, that is great. I feel like I'm such a people pleaser. And so whenever someone messages me, I'm just like, I just answer so quickly. I'm like, okay, it's 9 p.m., but I got this. I'm going to respond.
Exactly.
So I completely get that. And I feel like taking those self-care days are just so important. Okay, I'm not going to be on my phone. I'm not going to go on TikTok today. I'm going to just focus on myself. I'm going to put on a face mask and I'm going to go watch some Netflix and that's it.
Go on my Pinterest.
Go on my Pinterest. Let's call it a day. Yeah. We just want to know what leadership skills have you guys developed through this experience? I know you talk a lot about working with other people and like, obviously you guys are mentors for the next up-and-coming students that are going to take this position. So what kind of leadership skills have you developed in this process?
I can go. I would say, so I'm the marketing coordinator for UPSA's peer tutoring services specifically. I would say as a leader, I gained a lot of adaptability skills. Our schedules can change. There could be a lot of last-minute cancellations. And I just think responding to that promptly and also notifying the students without giving them any more inconvenience that they needed, I think that itself, being just so prompt, allowed me to be more adaptable.
No, I think for me, it would mostly be, I think being able to work in a team, actually. And I know that's probably not a good answer because a lot of people are like, you must be able to work in a team. But for me, I'm the type of person that's like, if I can get it done myself, I don't see why I shouldn't. And so that's like why maybe Laila would notice this. But if someone, especially like early on in the co-president term, if someone texts me something, I'm like conditioned now to the Slack messages. I see the red and I can't like keep my eyes off of it. But I'm someone, if someone texts like a general channel with a question and I know the answer, I'm just going to go for it. And I think having a co-president, it's difficult to be able to, for me at least, to be able to share that and to be able to say, okay, I know I can do it, but maybe I should also let my co-president do it.
For
so I
sure.
think that's one thing that I've learned
Yeah.
doing. I don't know if you had a similar experience.
Yeah, for sure. I think I'm more like an introvert.
Yeah.
And my co-president is more of an extrovert. So sometimes I'll just let her like go on and talk,
yeah.
and which
You're
is
back
great.
there.
I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think a big part is also learning to speak up for yourself and be like,
Yeah.
I want to say this part or
Yeah,
things like
exactly.
that.
Yeah.
What do you also think makes a good leader? What's a good leader to you? So anyone who's listening who wants to be a leader in their school, like what other traits would you say are necessary for that kind of job?
I'd probably say lead by example. It's so funny because we just had our elections for next year. And I was looking at my marketing group yesterday, and I know some of them are going to be in my position that I'm in today. And I looked at them with a lot of confidence because I think we all led by example, and I think they'll fit so seamlessly. But I think it'll be just like an easy transition for them, and I looked at them with so much confidence. But I think as a leader, you have to be the student and the teacher at the same time. Yeah, because I'm really open to learning new things, and I know the people that are coming are also open to learning new things, and we all have to start somewhere. So I just say leading by example, and also being open, because like I said, we all don't know anything, and I'm just really open and engaged in learning. I think we both have the humility to say, hey, if we can't understand this, we'll ask more questions. So I would just say leading by with that humility example.
Yeah, that's
For
a
sure.
really great point, Layla. I love that. I
Yeah.
love telling people, like, if you don't know something, just ask.
Oh my
Like,
God,
yeah.
it's so normal,
yeah,
please.
exactly. I
So
feel
many
like a
questions.
lot of people are so scared to do that. Kind of, there is a abundance of information that we
Yeah.
have for you, and we don't know how to help you otherwise.
Yeah.
But I love this question because a lot of people always ask me, like, what makes a good co-president and everything. And I learned that there are two things. There are more things, but I feel like these
us.
two things are so important. Sorry?
No, I said tell us.
Oh, yeah. It is, I would say you need to be hardworking and you also need to be passionate. I think that is so important the higher you go, especially that second part about passion, because anyone can do the work. If you taught like someone like, oh, this is where everything is stored, you need to be able to do this, they could learn it. This is not very like difficult things like tracking stuff. But the thing is, are you willing to learn? Do you care that much about the club or whatever it is to be able to put yourself out there, to get out of your comfort zone and learn that this is what I need to step up to be the leader that everyone else needs me to be. And I also think that passion just helps you grow the club and also help you grow like yourself. Because if you're not going the extra mile, you're not doing more than you're supposed to and not complaining about it, then I just don't think that you will learn a lot. You'll not learn a lot about the people that you're working with.
For sure.
You're not going to learn a lot about what you can do and just all that stuff. Like, I think there were a lot of times where I've interacted with other people, whether that's in like the club or external organizations or anything, where I was really excited to do something and I was faced more, not even just in UPSA, but like in general, where I was faced more with people being like, oh, that's just too much work. Like, we're just students. Like, you don't have to do that. And I'm like, yes, but we went into this knowing, first of all, we're volunteers. So knowing that there would be no financial compensation, for example, knowing that this would take up a lot of our time. And without that passion, you're just going to keep thinking, I don't need to do this. And I don't owe this to anyone. And if your mindset is still like that, but you want to be a leader, it is in line, in my opinion, with someone who's, I want to go for this president or this VP role because it's good for my CV.
Oh, 100%.
And I
love it.
understand that. I understand why that's important, but I also think you need to be able to consider like just how much are you willing to give. The hours get so much easier when you are enjoying what you do and when you realize that this is for the people that I actually care about.
For sure.
As opposed to just thinking like this is just something extra on my plate or something like that.
I feel like the passion is also really important to set an example because people look up to you as a leader.
Yeah.
And if you're not being passionate and really showing that this is what you want and this is like what you're happy doing, then why would anyone else want to go the extra mile or anyone else would want to put in all that hard work?
Exactly.
But if they see you putting in so much work, then everyone else is going to be inspired.
Yeah.
So I think that's also a great point.
Exactly.
I can see why you're both presidents.
I know, it's like such a parallel.
Right?
You guys.
I can speak from like someone who's not in anything and I'm just purely focused on my academics, and I partly regret that. I should be more involved. I think I've gotten into this habit where U of T is such a commuter school. I'm just going to my lectures. I'm going home. I'm not going to make friends. I'll sit beside myself. I'll go sit in a cubicle after and study. I'm just not involved. And after this experience during my work term, I'm like, wow, I am passionate about psychology. Like I want to be more involved. And so hearing your guys' experience has also, next year, Nikta, apply for a club.
There's so many outlets. It doesn't even have to be clubs. It's going back to what we said. It's like when you love what you do, the whole job actually won't feel like work at all.
Yeah,
Exactly.
for sure. And I also feel like it's completely normal for a lot of people to get involved later. Like, not a lot of people get involved in first and second year.
Please, no.
Yeah, especially first year.
Never too late.
So,
No,
so nervous.
definitely not first year.
How has being involved in UPSA shaped your own academic and professional goals?
You know what? Professionally, I would say it's cheesy, but working in a group, I've actually felt really lonely in university. I never came into it having many friends. I feel like this was the perfect opportunity to just see my team building skills and possibly my leadership skills. So I would just say that. But academically, you know what? This taught me how to manage my time pretty well. I think going into university, I think that's when extracurriculars died down for me with sports and all that other stuff you just get to growing up. And I think by joining the club, that's when I was really like, I'm going to be a master at this. I want to manage my time super well. I can do this club. I can even join another club and I can take 6 courses in a semester. Yeah, probably that. Yeah.
For sure. I agree with that. Like, I think it helped me realize that too. Like, I was organized, but I never really understood like how organized I could be. And now I'm like, I love an Excel sheet. Like, you give me one and you tell me like, I need to create a system for this. I'll be like, I'm on it. I love doing that kind of stuff. I think it's also, I'm sorry, you asked how it helped me grow professionally and academically. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. I think I would say that at York, being like part of UPSA, even as a peer mentor, it helped me helped me sort of branch out and be more willing to apply for other things. So
yeah, exactly.
After my coordinator position, I applied for a work study position at the colleges and I got an interview. So that's one thing. That's a great thing. I also got to, this needs a little more context, but the lab I was in, when I was a peer mentor, when I was a peer mentor and a peer mentor coordinator, the lab manager of that lab was one of the peer mentors. So I worked with them, but I also served them. So it was like a difference, like who was managing who in different environments. And I think that because they saw me in the coordinator light, they also were like, oh, I think you'd be great for a lab manager. And that's what propelled me to go for it. And also for the professor to maybe also consider me. Although I can't speak for sure, but that's just how I saw it. So I think that kind of just helped me be able to learn that I can manage a team, like organize and also hone my like time management skills and everything like that. And also just help me be passionate about something, which is needed. Again, I also didn't have any friends, and the only friends I have, they are from UPSA, which sounds a little sad. But yeah, that's just how it is. It just made me realize like I'm so much more capable than I thought I was.
Right. Yeah.
So it helped me.
Also just built your confidence
Exactly.
up to try new things.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's amazing. Yeah. I guess you answered this, but has your position opened up other doors for you in psychology?
Yeah, for sure. I would say it opened up the door to my lab. I also think it opened up the door to even my job at Yorktown Family Services, even if it's as an admin assistant, because there are so many things, even though it's not like paid work, I could be like, oh, I know how to do this. I know because of my coordinator role. Or, oh, I know how to support someone who's in crisis because of my crisis responder role and stuff like that.
Wow.
Yeah. I would say those are really invaluable skills that even though you're not getting paid, you're still getting something in return. And that's very useful in applying for jobs, applying for like labs, especially if you're interested in that. And because it also just shows, especially even if you are like just a peer mentor, it's not just about what you do, but it's also just about, the fact that you were able to stay there for a year. That shows, okay, you were someone good. You weren't kicked out or anything like that. And professors will likely take that into account while they're looking at your CV or your application and stuff. But yeah.
Honestly, I haven't really gotten my big break yet. I play low on campus. It's basically I just have the club and then my academics, but I'm really grateful for this opportunity. But like I said with UPSA, we get first dibs on resources at York, particularly relating to psychology or even mentorship opportunities. So I think getting firsthand, that has opened the door for me to maybe apply to more clubs next year and reach out to their Instagrams, because I know I run the Instagram. But seeing how easy that is and joining clubs, I'm like, wow, I really want to be in more clubs. So I haven't actually join opportunities like Claire. I'm not in a research program, but I would say this, and even our podcast, I'm happy you guys saw like our engagement. That was a huge thing off my bucket list. That was like actually on my Pinterest board to be in a podcast. Yeah, really? Yeah, I like watch them all the time. I watch podcasts all the time. So creating this opportunity, I hope more in the future, but I would just say getting first dibs on club fairs or even other resources and events, I think that's how I can just branch off later on in the future when I'm ready.
For sure.
What are some of the biggest challenges you guys have faced in leading the society, and how have you addressed them?
Yeah.
You want to take the lead?
Yeah, sure. I think for me and being a co-president, I would say this is something I'm also talking about to the next co-presidents, but I think it's so hard to me personally. I wasn't a work study at the colleges. I wasn't involved in other clubs because I was just, okay, I know the president role will take a lot of my time. I didn't really want to join something else and then cost UPSA or anything like that. So I wasn't like big time involved. I did what I could within like my sphere and everything. But I think that kind of made me feel like almost invisible, because when we do collaborate with other club members, or other like clubs, and also when we have meetings with the college head or even external organizations, for me personally, I always felt like, oh, I can't say what I want to say because, even if I did say something, it wouldn't matter as much as someone who is in like these 5 clubs and in work study and doing all these things all together. And I didn't know anyone, but everyone else knew each other. So I felt very isolated, and I felt like that was a big challenge for me. And just being able to stay like professional, I think I wanted to stay professional, but it was really hard when like the people that I worked with, like they all knew these other people. So then after that, it was a very friendly relationship between them. But for me, it was just great. I'm going to stick to like my full stops. I'm going to be very professional and everything. And I didn't want to seem like I was cold or something, because I do want to collaborate with you. But I'm not someone who's going to use slang in an email or something like that.
For sure.
Yeah. So that was something that I grappled with. It was just, I really want to be visible, but I also am just trying to, I don't want to put that over my responsibilities. Like, I don't want to make it seem like, oh, as long as I'm visible, then nothing else matters. Yeah. Because what does matter is that I'm still present for the team. I'm still doing my tasks, and I'm still doing all the work so that they could succeed. I hope that made sense. But
yeah, for sure. I feel like that's very relatable. As a part of joining a club, of course, is to be able to connect with students and be able to make friends. All that stuff, but then at the same time, you have to find that balance of also being professional and being a leader and being able to handle other more serious things. Yeah. It was definitely hard for me at first as well, trying to balance that, because you want to be friendly and nice and connect with everyone, which is great, you should, but at the same time, you have to be more serious sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah.
I can speak for me. I think when we had filmed our UPSA podcast, and I'm always open to feedback, I just think with the whole professionalism concept, sometimes I have a hard time balancing between being myself and being professional. I kind of want to strike right in the middle at the right chord, because I do want to create an open environment. I don't want to seem too stern, because that's genuinely not who I am, and I really want to be open. So I think after doing the podcast and receiving feedback, I'm still trying to hit the right notes. Even it'll be a little bit today, I'm like, Kate, don't say the wrong thing, but still balance it, because I just want to tell people they can be themselves in this club. You don't have to be the sternest person or the strictest person to be here. It's all about attitude over technique all the time. If you just go into it having the right attitude and be open, then the technique of professionalism will soon follow.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. We just want to bring the conversation back to like student life and your experience at York. So I was wondering if you guys could speak to your experience so far and what aspects of student life had stood out to you the most so far.
Go ahead.
Oh my God, stood out to me. Life at York is honestly really good. I think mainly it is from joining this club or just an organization. Nothing so much has stood out to me, but I will say what I noticed about York, I'm not familiar with any other universities, we're so club heavy. Every perimeter of the campus I go, I'm like met with a table with a club whole sign. I'm like, oh my God, this is insane. But I just think that's what like makes us just like a good, positive environment. There's so many students that want to get involved, and it's so heartwarming because we talked a little bit about loneliness. So I would say that really surprised me, because I always thought it was like in the movies. Okay, how engaging can university be? Like, this is insane. But then I'm like looking around, I'm like, wow, there's so many clubs. Yeah. So I thought that was like something that was really surprising to me about York life.
For sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think that there are a lot of clubs, and I feel like something that has helped me realize that is also being in a club. Yeah. Because for sure, if I was just like not in a club, I wouldn't notice this. Like I would, it would be like in my blind spot.
That is so true. I feel like I never really thought about them until I joined one, and now it's like I see them everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. We stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, exactly. So I would say for student life, there are a lot of places that we could, like a lot of organizations that we could be a part of, and I think it's really fun. As for anything else, I would say I'm not sure about, I think like classes are engaging. There are a lot of good classes. Professors are really, like they're really passionate about what they want to do and everything. So I think that also feeds back into the students wanting to learn and everything like that. I barely hear anything about psychology professors.
Me neither.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's like a misconception that they told us in high school. Your professors are not going to care about you.
Yeah.
You're
Oh
on
my
your
gosh.
own. You're on your own.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to know what to do. Make sure you have the right skills because you're
Yeah.
going to be pretty much screwed
Yeah.
when you get into university.
Yeah.
And then the first day I go into university, my psych professors are like, yeah, join office hours, come up to me and ask me any questions. I'm here to help
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
They're handing out candy.
Exactly.
And I was like, what were you guys talking about? Why are you trying to stress me out for no reason?
Exactly.
So another question we have are if you guys could share some unique opportunities or resources at York that have positively impacted your academic or personal growth.
I'll talk about some of our resources. We have the Wellness Lounge. It's this little space where you can just unwind. It's in our respective colleges, and I really like it because it's like free coffee, free tea, and obviously when I feel overstimulated, I'd probably go there. And all about the Writing Center at York, that's a big one because I feel like sometimes I still get confused between APA and MLA format till this day. Like still, I just need that like clarification for the 100th time. That's good because they really help peer review and revise your work, and especially for thesis. I know I'm not writing a thesis, Claire. I don't know if you.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, me neither. But I'm just saying, people in those situations, that was like the best resource, the Writing Center, I would say, at York.
100%. I would say also like the Career Center can be a little
Yes.
helpful. But I would say if you do want to go to the Career Center, if anything, maybe have a better idea of just what you're trying to find, even if it's not like the best one, because they're also there and they give you like a lot of resources and they set up like more appointments and everything. I think another one is, this is particularly for first-year students, but reach out to your peer mentors. I don't know if you
Yes.
have those at University of Guelph, but we do have peer mentors, and we have this great group of like people who are willing to talk to you about anything, like whether you just need someone to go to an event with and stuff like that. They're like a friend who's just like in the background who you could just run back to, and you're like, I'm sorry, I really need someone right now. And they're like, yeah, totally. So I would say rely on them. And also another resource I think is like using like the library. Like I didn't even know, but they're actually really helpful. They would help you look for resources. And I also just found this out this year, but they also have like just fiction books. Which is so off topic. But I think that's so cool because it's like a lot of people, I feel like myself, like I want to read and everything, but I also can't spend all that money on these books. So then being able to go to my library and just being able to see, oh, they have this book and everything's really great.
For sure.
So those are the resources that I would highlight. Yeah.
Yeah. And for any high school students listening, or even students at York right now, what would you say are the best study spots on campus for any students or psych students?
I can go first.
Yeah.
Some of our libraries, I would say there's a lot of common areas within them, so it's like a talking space. But for the most part, it's really quiet. I would say Stacy's Engineering Library.
Yes.
Because I'm not trying to stereotype, but they like to get down and there's going to be silent in there. And I already know if I start talking, everyone's going to look at me funny. And that's what I need to focus.
Yeah.
So I'd
Yes,
probably,
I
that
agree.
on campus, Stacy Engineering, that's the best place.
I agree. I went there like this February. It was dead silent.
Oh, it's
I
amazing.
needed that.
That's
That was
the
so
best.
great. But yeah, that's a great study spot. I would say again, the libraries are also a good study spot. I think if you are in a club or anything, if you do have an office space, use that. Use that, like definitely use that, because that's my favorite study spot. It's just, I know it's gonna be quiet, it's reliable. I just have this big room to myself, and that's what I need to focus. I don't really do well with, for example, like music even sometimes.
me neither.
Yeah, it's just so distracting.
It is.
Yeah.
Even if it's like an instrumental, sometimes it's like I have to not know the song.
Yeah.
So I started playing
No
like
lyrics.
piano. Exactly.
No lyrics.
Exactly. Yeah. Even if it was like an instrumental of a popular song, I would know the lyrics,
Yeah,
and I would
me
end
too.
up like wanting to like vibe with the song instead of
Yeah.
wanting to like study, which is not great. So I started listening to, actually, this is off topic, but I'm sorry. I started listening to like just piano, like of classical
too.
music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Brown noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything that's just like it's in my ears, but it's not like
right?
lyrics.
Okay,
or-
yeah.
Yeah, mine was elevator music.
Oh my god, I love that. No, I love
Like,
that.
if I really was like, okay, I need to study, everybody's being loud. I have the noise cancellation headphones from
Yeah.
Apple
Oh, wow,
too.
okay.
They suck. gonna buy them.
Okay.
They're a waste of
Oh my God.
$1,000. But the only thing that they're good for is the noise canceling. But still, obviously, like if someone like bangs something at the library, or like you can still hear the vibrations a little bit.
Yeah.
So like sometimes I just gotta play elevator music.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
just
that's so true.
Just
That's
do
so
it.
real. That's so real.
So why do you guys think high school students interested in psychology should consider applying to York University? I know I applied to York, but I ended up...
What happened?
I know. To be honest, my mom made me apply to every school in Ontario.
Okay.
She wanted to
My mom
be...
was the opposite.
Really?
She's don't apply because there was like a fee or something. Oh
Yeah.
my God, yeah.
There is a fee.
Yeah.
I guess she just had no hope for me. I'm just kidding. I was a good high school student, but she definitely wanted me to have my options open, but which was weird. She's like, apply to McMaster, apply to Waterloo, this and that, but don't go there, go to U of T.
Okay. All right.
So I'm like, what was the point? But yeah, I definitely did apply to York, but I just ended up going to U of T.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So why do you guys think that students interested in psychology should go to York?
I would say for me, I think we have a lot of psych courses. Like there's just such a range. We have so many concentrations, and I think we're growing with that like all the time. We have like developmental stuff. We also have like research stuff, and I believe they even have a counseling course early now. So if you want to do like counseling or anything like that, there are like a lot of courses that you could take to go to these different avenues, which I think is so helpful. And that's what I would say to people. And even though maybe like I know some other schools, they have co-op placements, or they also have like other more like job related stuff, we may be developing a co-op program. Fingers crossed, maybe. Don't take my word on this. But yeah, hopefully they do open that up, if anything. And I just think it's like the many courses that you could take really deepens your knowledge about anything that you're interested in. I believe they're even like maybe trying to open up a focus on psychology and law, which I feel like is so interesting. Like I would have loved that. I didn't know like I was into law, but then now that I'm in my 4th year, I'm like interested in everything. So I'm like, oh my God, like that would have been so good to see, or so good to be into. But yeah, what do you think?
I was going to say, we do have the York and Seneca rehabilitation.
Yes.
How do I say the word rehabilitation?
Yeah.
Yes. And it's 800 hours of volunteer work after your 4-year undergrad. Didn't it just open this year?
No, I believe they've been open for a few years, but they do it like on a yearly basis.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would say that because it said no other university has that for the rehabilitation, and then the 800 hours of supervised volunteer work. I would say that along with the courses, there was this intimacy course I took, and I'm really interested in integrated attachment style. And it was like, oh, it's a new course. As soon as I saw the sign new, I'm like, I'm joining this. And I immediately joined it. I would say that. And also, like what Claire said, our psych courses are unlimited. If I'm on the York website, I'm like scrolling down for what seems like an eternity. I'm like, I cannot find my courses, but there's such like a wide range. And I feel like that just the variability, I would say that's a big reason why I chose York, because I don't think a lot of universities have that.
Yeah, for sure. I guess you guys already answered this other question that we have, which is basically comparing to other universities, like what it's unique about York for the psychology program. But what would you say is different in terms of the academic, or I guess you already said academic quality, but the campus life and like student experience? Is there anything that you've noticed that stands out about York about that?
I know we don't know much about other universities, but I would say York, it's a great balance between academic and social. Like I said, I feel like everywhere I go, tables everywhere for clubs, but it's also really big on the psych program specifically with a lot of their courses. I would say that. I would just say the balance between it being really academic, but also like really social, the environment wise. But I can't compare it to others because I've just never been.
Yeah, I would say at York, maybe I feel like the reason that a lot of clubs are aware that their students are mostly commuters and everything. So I think that they craft the events to ensure that students can attend. So it's for commuter students. It's like it won't be too late at night, for example. And it's also not during class hours or anything. It's like it's fun, it's light and everything like that. And they ensure that like students can attend. So I would say that's one thing that maybe clubs are trying really hard to do. I know UPSA, we try to do that because we're always considering, people are just getting off class at this time. But it's too late for us to go back home at that time. So that's one thing. And as Laila mentioned, I can't really compare to others because I'm not too aware about what other universities are like or just like how student life is in those areas. places. Yeah.
We had a game about other universities, so I'm not sure how this is going to go, but we had the idea of doing 20 questions. So one player thinks of an Ontario university, and the others ask yes or no questions to guess what it is within 20 questions.
Oh,
so I'm not sure if you guys...
You want to do a practice run with Laura, and then we can like...
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Okay, Lauren,
okay.
think of a university.
Okay,
ask you
I got
questions.
one.
Is it Guelph University? No. Okay, let me think. Is like the color purple of their...
Yes.
Is it Laurier?
No.
Oh, okay, so it's Western.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Think like that, but
Yeah.
definitely ask
my
different
gosh.
questions. That was
That
kind of
was-
easy.
that was good.
Because I'm pretty familiar with what university colors are, so
I
I kind of
see.
know.
Okay.
But I don't know. Do you guys?
We could try it, but I am not confident, so I may not be able to answer a lot.
thinking of something.
You're thinking of one?
I'll think of something, then you can guess.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Do you want to ask a question?
Do you want to go first?
Think. Is it a commuter school?
Like from here?
Do people tend to commute to this school?
Yeah, I would say yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Is it really competitive?
Sure. I didn't get in, so probably.
For psych?
Yeah.
You applied for psychology?
I did. I applied everywhere for psychology.
Oh, okay. So same. Do you know anything about like their color of the flag?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, you do? Okay. Is it blue?
No.
Oh, okay. So not you.
Is it yellow?
Yeah.
Oh. Waterloo?
No.
Dalhousie?
No. I don't even know what that is.
Guelph?
No.
Dalhousie's in Nova Scotia.
Oh my God, where are you guys from?
Oh, right. We're doing Ontario.
That's
Yeah,
a real
like,
thing.
My bad.
Oh my God.
I'm going to take a quick trip on a plane to get to my
Meter
lecture.
school, yeah.
Is it like known for being a party school?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have no
Like
idea.
to have fun.
Oh. Is it
Yellow.
Queens?
No, what the? No.
Wait, yellow. I'm trying to
I thought
think.
Queens was yellow and blue.
I thought
What
Queens
the
was
heck?
red.
Oh. Red and... Oh, no, I'm
Oh.
wrong. It's like
Are there
red and
two
blue.
colors in the flag?
Yeah, there is.
So yellow and...
We
Da,
kind of
da,
suck
da,
at
da.
this game.
Wow, we made
What's
this
going
game
on?
ourselves.
Now you're making me feel like I'm wrong. Like I'm not.
Because I'm just thinking, like, what's yellow? Shoot.
Wait, did we say what the other color is?
No.
No. Okay.
Is it
maybe
the other
guess-
color blue?
No, we said that, but no.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Now I feel like I'm wrong.
Is it purple?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Laurier.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I was gonna say, isn't their mascot the horse? Am I wrong? Isn't it? No, tell me I'm wrong.
Laurier.
No, it is. It is a horse. It's a horse like galloping.
I think
That's
you're right.
Guelph.
No.
Wait, you guys are a horse?
We're... Oh,
No, I think I am right. I think I'm 90%.
Oh. It's a hawk. It's a yes. Wilfred Laurier hawk.
Oh my God. Who's a horse?
Okay. Hopefully I know Laurier.
I don't know.
Sorry. But you're right, purple and yellow. When you said yellow, I was not thinking of
Oh,
Laurier.
it's the Western Mustang.
Mustangs,
Oh my
yeah.
God, I'm getting.
Okay.
As soon as we
I
were
was
guessing,
getting
I'm like,
confused
what? I'm like,
too.
I think I was changing my answer as soon as it kept going.
I don't know about you guys, but I know in first year, I felt really lost and
Yeah.
so confused and had no idea what I was doing. And I feel like a lot of first year students feel that way. So if you had to build a starter pack for a first year psychology student, what kind of essentials would you include?
This is like a piece of advice. I don't know if it's like a couple hacks, but this is just one. I would say study methods. When I first joined in first year, I was extremely overwhelmed by the amount of note taking I saw in my classes. And I was like, this is actually not how I study. I've never taken notes before in all my years in psychology. But looking around to seeing them do it, I'm like, oh my God, if I'm not following them, am I not going to do well? And I was really overwhelmed because there's obviously the lecture notes, the slides, the textbooks, the office hours. I'm like, wow, that's so overwhelming.
Yeah.
What works best for me? I just think sticking to what. And I know obviously try new things, but I would say playing it safe because if I had played it safe, I think I would have done a lot better in first year. I'd say first year was my lowest year. Similar to a lot of people, I think first year is literally just a trial run. And I didn't do as well as I thought I would, but that had a lot to do with looking more at what other people are doing, sticking to what I know. So I would just say follow your intuition, not worry about so many other people, and then just building good study habits from what you have already used and succeeded in previous years.
Yeah. Actually, I had a different experience.
Oh, okay.
I would say maybe try and explore things that you haven't done. Because the thing is, what I used to do is just read the textbook, especially when it's like memorization and everything. Just read the textbook and then like copy paste, like whatever. And that's what I did in first year, and it didn't do very well. So I think maybe something different that I would do is learning how to take notes, especially in terms of like lists tests, knowing what to memorize and stuff like that. And I think just in general, this is what works for me, but it might not work for a lot of other people. Getting like a physical planner or a physical calendar, I need those. I know everyone has their phones and everything, but it's so convenient for me, like when I'm working on something and I could just check it to the side and I'm like, oh, this is what all my important dates are and stuff like that. So I would say get something physical to show you
I
like
totally
what's
agree.
coming up. Yeah. What was your experience like?
I would say like organizational skills. Like you really need good organizational skills in university, because I feel like in high school, the teachers help you a lot.
Yeah.
Like they keep you on task, and they remind you of dates, and
Yes.
and in university you're all on your own, and you have to really make sure you're on top of all your things and not missing any deadlines.
Exactly.
So I would say that kind of transition was really hard for me, especially as someone with ADHD. That was like really difficult. So I would say probably that. What about you?
For me, I had an opposite experience. I did really well in first year,
Wow.
and then slowly declined. So with every year, it got harder for me.
Yeah.
Just especially because you're not 18 years old anymore. Like you're in adulthood, and so then I'm also facing so many different like personal life challenges,
For sure.
which I wasn't experiencing in high school. Having to balance everything. Like I'm a very read the textbook kind of person.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people aren't. Some people have said they've done so well without reading the textbook, and I can't understand that.
Same.
Like
Yeah.
when a prof or a class asks me you need to do this and this if you want to get a good mark on the exam, like I just have in my head that I need to do it.
Yeah.
Like I have to
for
get
sure.
it done. So
100%.
yeah, I think I'm still trying to balance and making a to-do list for
Yes.
each class for me.
Yeah.
It kind of brings us to our next question. I was going to ask you guys, what do you think the challenges of being a psych student is within each year of your undergrad? Like, for example, first year, we obviously talked about the transition from high school, maybe your fourth year being like thesis and grad admission stress. Like, what do you guys think?
To piggyback off of what Lauren said, I would just say finally being independent. In high school, we did get a little babied into doing all our tasks and what to do and what's not. I think being in first year, I was like, wow, I have 5 courses. I need to plan for 5 exams. I need to book off work and make sure I'm free at this time and this day. So I would just say that, and along with another, I guess, challenge would just be loneliness in first year specifically. And I would say third and fourth year, I think maybe aiming to just get involved a little bit more. I want to challenge myself and maybe join another club or even be in like a more leadership role, which I'll be next year. That's a challenge. I know me and Claire aren't doing thesis. So I would just say fourth year, maybe just the stress of applying, seeing where I belong. It's like the whole scouting report all over again, and it feels like it just happened. 4 years just flies by.
Yeah, it
I would say that I want to see what universities will, I feel like, make and fit my needs best.
Yeah, no, exactly. I feel the same way. I'm in my fourth year now, and it's so funny because like when I joined the club and everything, I really found like a sense of purpose. I really felt, oh, maybe I do belong here. Maybe I can do something at York and stuff like that. So now that I'm graduating and I'm leaving that behind, it's really sad. I'm having a really hard time like letting that go too, because I'm just worried. I'm scared that I'm going to fall back into this place where I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what's going on. And I'm just going to feel like purposeless and like I have no direction and everything. So I think that's my biggest challenge right now as a fourth year, just especially someone who's not doing a thesis, who didn't apply to grad school. Everyone else is going to these other places, and I'm just feeling like I'm not. And I know I didn't apply, so how am I feeling like I failed when I didn't apply? Like it's not like I didn't get in or I got rejected or anything like that, but it just feels like I don't know what I'm doing. And it's another transition. Like I feel like with university, something that's really helpful, even though it's just classes, at least you know what's coming next. It's just another class. It's just another exam. It's just another like period in your life where you have to go back to classes and everything. But when you graduate, that's where I'm like stumped a little bit, where I'm just like, I don't know what I really want to do, because I love my work at UPSA. And if I could do this as like a job, I would 100%, but I can't.
Yeah.
So I think that's one challenge. I think definitely, as everyone else has mentioned, also like getting involved. I think is really smart to start thinking about that in second year. And I would say maybe even though I'm not doing a thesis, in third and fourth year, I feel like a challenge a lot of students have at York is usually getting into labs or getting to research labs so that they could have someone to do a thesis with, or someone they could get that like lab experience. I know that a lot of students struggle with it. I've seen a lot of people struggle with it, but I would say, if anything, during those moments, it's just very important to just keep doing it and just keep showing up, because the more you show up, the more a professor's going to be like, I know you from this place. I know your enthusiasm. Maybe let's set up an interview, stuff like that.
Yeah, I feel like that's really relatable, how like it's really easy to compare yourself to other people, especially people in the same program as you, because sometimes it's easy to just think that there's one straight path of this is what you need to do, and oh, this person's doing this, and this person applied to grad school, and all that stuff. But I think it's just really helpful to know that everyone's on their own journey, and there's so many things that you can do with the psych degree. And just remembering that is really important. But yeah, speaking of which, what area of psychology is most interesting to you and why?
Ooh, okay.
Integrated attachment style.
I
I love attachment theory. I feel like that is a big reason why we are who we are and how we respond the way we do. I would mainly say that I took a course on intimacy this year. It's the new one that I had brought up earlier. I was super excited because I'm super big on relationships, and I'm super big to see how everyone comes to be. And I also think, since it is the bulk of who we are, if everyone can gain a secure attachment, I think that's the most desirable one. I think how to gain it and then showing others, because I think that's the root of all insecurity. So I just think learning that, and hopefully when I'm in the future, I would like to be really big on integrated attachment style.
That's so great. Actually, there's a seminar on developmental psych, if you are interested. It was taught by Dr. Pepler, and she's also huge on that. I'm just going to be teaching you about relationships, because that is what shapes a child's development and everything. But for me, I think the most interesting, I'm not sure about the area, but I loved my behavior modification course. I loved that a lot. I think that was, I don't know, it really was so concrete, and it really gave me like steps on, oh, if you were feeling this way, why don't we try this and stuff like that. And I really liked that. And it just made me believe more in therapy, which I know I shouldn't say as a psych student, but that's just what made me realize, oh, yeah, like therapy might work this way. And I know that's probably what would work best for me. And so I found that the most interesting. Yeah.
You said attachment styles. We actually had a member of our team write a blog on attachment styles.
Oh, no way.
If you're interested in that, you should definitely check that out.
Yeah, I will.
It's very interesting.
It was a very big topic in our office.
Yeah, that's like a heated debate.
Yeah, especially we did the blog around Valentine's Day as well.
Wow.
So
That's good.
We
Good
were
idea.
all talking about it and like what we are, what our like partners are.
Taking
and
a quiz,
taking the quiz, like the experiences we've dealt with like being with people who are the opposite attachment. Like that's not talked about enough. How much of a struggle that is.
For sure.
Yeah, that was definitely one of our popular blogs.
Yeah.
So are there any psychology related projects or research initiatives you're currently working on?
I would probably say Justice Club. Yeah. I'm just with UPSA. Since I newly got elected to this role, my main focus is on EVP, but as opposed to initiatives, I'm mainly just like by the book. Similar to you, this is like my only thing I got going on. I probably say focusing and buckling down mainly for fourth year, and also adjusting to this new role at the same time. How about you?
Yeah, I would say the same. I think it's just like wrapping up on my end, but also in terms of my lab and what we're doing, I believe there are like a lot of studies going on right now. Like we have an independent research project going on about like how like people who rewatch media, is it because they're more anxious and that's why they keep rewatching? We have a lot of studies on parents and their children and about like how their free will beliefs affect like the way they discipline their children. So I think those are just projects I'm assisting with. I don't know if that answered your question. But yeah, that's just like what's going on.
For sure. And as upper year students, what advice would you guys give to psych students in their first or second year? I know we touched on that, but do you have anything that you wish you did sooner or like regrets that you want to share?
I regret not buckling down fast enough. I feel like once I got to York, I was so focused on picking a study spot, going to see having my own like little independence for a couple hours throughout the day. And I think at that point I did slack off a bit. So I would say getting adjusted a lot faster. I didn't have to go tour campus and do all the stuff that I did and socialize as quick as I did, because I think the school year goes by so quick.
It does.
And assignments, I have one assignment due, then I'm moving on to the next, and same with exams. So I would say that I just think the pace, I should have slowed down a little bit more in first year.
Yeah, as an international student, I would say maybe take the time also to explore the city, like where you're at. I know it's like academics are so important, and 100% they are, because you should be studying. And when you're an international student, that's when your main jobs. But I think also just taking the time to be able to look around you and to also get involved in clubs. I wish I got involved in clubs sooner. I know I did in like my second year, but I think if I got involved in a lot more other things, of course, do it within what you can. Don't like overextend yourself. But I think if I got involved in other things, like it would have exposed me to a whole lot of different people, a lot of new experiences and all that stuff. And I think this is just for international students, but I would say also meet with advisors. Like, I think they help you. Actually, it's just for all students. They help you. And there's like I know there's like a lot of like stereotypes about, oh, advisors don't actually help you. They just tell you to do this thing. And then they tell you that, oh, you shouldn't have done that thing. But the advisors at York, especially, they're especially helpful. They really want to help you succeed. I've literally met with an advisor once just to be like, I don't know what I want to do. And they were so nice. And they literally were like, oh, it's fine. Why don't we talk about like this? And why don't you go into the career center? Why don't you do that stuff? So they're also like your peer mentors almost, but they're not really peer. They're like older and everything. So I would say meet with advisors as much as you can, help them build your schedule. They can help you build your schedule, and they're also a great source of information. They know everything. They've been trained to know everything. So rely on them.
For sure.
Yeah.
As someone who like struggles with social anxiety and like talking to new people, meeting new people, do you have any advice that you would give someone who wants to join a leadership position, especially their university's like society or club?
Yeah.
You gotta gun it. It's 100% of the shots you don't take. It's funny because me and Claire were like, we never expected this club to be taken so seriously. And then we found such like a purpose, like what Claire said. But I think just getting it, why not? Why not put yourself out there? And that's how you grow. It's meant to feel uncomfortable. I was super uncomfortable at first. Even being a leader, I still have a lot to learn. I may be like a little bit nervous, and I'm sure Claire felt the same way. It's just a bigger responsibility. But I'm okay with that because without uncomfortability, there's no growth whatsoever. So I just say gun it. Why not?
I totally echo what Laila said. It is when you're uncomfortable, that's when you are growing.
Exactly.
And it's a good sign because you're doing something that you're not used to doing. And it just means that you are learning more skills and you're really putting yourself out there. But same with Laila, I would say just go for it. And I think if you are really shy and something like that is why you should, in fact. I feel like because then that could help you not really get rid of shyness, but it could help you balance that shyness, but also be able to find that growth and be able to grow as a leader and
like
everything.
Exposure therapy.
Yeah, it's like, that's literally what it feels like. Yeah, it is. Make like your hierarchy and everything.
Yeah, for sure. I feel putting yourself in those uncomfortable situations really prepares you for later on in life.
Yes, 100%.
Because I don't know, I just think university is such a great time to just get out of your comfort zone and try new things.
Exactly.
And we have so many opportunities right now, and I feel like everyone should take advantage of all the opportunities that they're given at their university.
Yeah. And I would say trust yourself, because I feel like a lot of students, they don't, and they get, oh, it must sound this way, so let me look for these keywords on the internet, or let me use AI to help me prepare an application. And it's just trust yourself, because if you are there and you can really show it, like someone will see you do that, and someone will validate you, and they will be able to sense that from you.
100%. I'm not sure if you guys will be able to speak to this, but from your perspective, what are the biggest mental health challenges that students face today? Maybe in your experience, maybe something you've noticed in our generation. Like, what are people struggling with, like university students?
I don't want to keep bringing up loneliness, but I know in my first year, I was so anxious in my lecture hall because I knew nobody. I knew no familiar faces. I didn't have someone who I can meet after class, but even just being in that big hall and see no one I knew, I was like, oh my God, it's going to be like this every day. But it's just something that you just have to become accustomed to, because it does get easier with time. I would probably say that, but I think that kind of goes along with loneliness. But I would feel so anxious walking around campus. And even when I run my little errands, I wouldn't know anybody, and I just go straight home. I'd feel like a big fish in a pond. Like I wouldn't really know what to do. So I would say that, but it does get easier, because I think that's where independence starts, and that's adulting. You're going to have to be alone. You're going to have to commute alone and just create those opportunities. Even if you are alone, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, very valid points. I think for me, something that people might be like struggling with is just fear of the future. I would say, I feel like there are so many things happening now all around the world that are like, I know it's like we could do things, but they are out of our control. Yeah. And I think a lot of people, like, you're going to your classes, you're doing all your tasks and everything, but knowing that all these things are happening outside of your sphere and everything, you want to change it, but you can't. Those are like really, I feel like that's so terrifying. And I think also just being afraid of what comes next. Like, again, as I mentioned, like, I am very like scared about what am I going to do? what is my purpose, stuff like that. And I think that is something that a lot of students face. They're just like feeling lost maybe. And it's not enough to just say, I just want to find out what I'm going to do, because especially as an international student, like I have a timer on and I have to be able to figure these things out. Otherwise, I will lose my chance and I won't be able to stay or anything like that. So I think that's just a challenge that I am going through. Yeah.
I feel like high school students are already really, they feel a lot of pressure to pick a program and stick to it. And
you pick at 17, by the way, what you're supposed to do for the rest of your life.
Exactly. And so I think just knowing that you're allowed to change your mind. It's not set in stone. Like you can 100% change your mind. And also, as you go through university and you take different classes, you will have more of an understanding of what you like and what you don't like.
Exactly.
I'm in third year, and even though I don't necessarily know 100% like the profession I want to do or what master's program I want to apply to, I know what I like and I don't like, and that narrows it down so much. And even if you don't, like, you can take a fifth year, you can take a year off.
Why not?
So,
Exactly.
I guess that brings us to our last question. What's one myth about psychology majors that you wish people would stop believing?
Oh my God. I feel like people think we analyze everything they do. I feel like even when I build a new relationship, you see those people on campus, what's your major? And it's, oh my God, it's psychology. And then they already like, oh, what do you think about me? What can you tell about me? I'm like, I just met you. I have no idea.
We're not fortune tellers.
Oh my God, And I also don't psychoanalyze people. I'm not really that. I know psychology is like a deep profession. You think very deeply, but I'm not like that off the bat when I meet new people. So I would say when you meet new people off the bat, they think you're like automatically judging them and already have an idea of them in your mind. It's so not like that at all.
Yeah, no, 100%. In line with that, the whole thing about, like you can read our minds. Like we can't. We really can't.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I think another one would maybe be that we use like what we learned in class and like to our friends and apply it to our friends or apply it to our relationships. I'm like, guys, I don't remember that stuff. I swear this is just me.
When the test is done, I'm like, I'm done too.
Exactly. I'm not manipulative. I'm not like doing this as a psych thing that I learned in my relationships class or anything like that. So I would say that's something.
Sure. I know I always see those TikTok videos of the street interviews where they're like,
I run away from them so quick.
They're like, what's one major you wouldn't date? Everybody says psychology. We're not here to analyze you or like conspire against you. Like we're not evil.
Exactly.
But I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for joining us. You guys gave us some really insightful answers, and I'm especially inspired to do new things, put myself out there, do the whole exposure therapy thing, bring me out of my shell. So I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you guys.
It was great speaking with you guys today. We love your enthusiasm. And why don't you tell our audience where you can find your club, like your Instagram handle or anything like that?
At UPSA York U on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram and our website upsa@yorku.ca.
I think you could just look for UPSA York U on
It's
Google.
the first thing that comes. Search up UPSA York U, you'll find it.